Let's go, people. Let's go, people. All right, look, man, we gotta talk. And this is very important. This is a very important subject. Not because of the news, but a because of a mistake that people make with human nature. All right. This dude, I'm not gonna go into the whole story. You guys can watch it yourself. But the point is that he had his boys working for him. His whole crew was his managers, his bodyguards. Some of them were part of his crew. Anyways, he fired them all. Right. For some reason, he fired them all. And then after that, they apparently looks like they told on him, and now he has charges where he might be sent to prison for his whole life. Right. And let me tell you where he went wrong and the mistake that he made, and I don't want you guys to make. Anytime you get successful in anything, anytime you get the number one thing that will block you with you achieving your success is not just your skill set, your lack of skill set. That's assuming you already know what the fuck you're doing. The next thing is your social intelligence. You see, social intelligence requires rational thinking. But when you're somebody who's always in beefs per se, who's always showing off money and all that sort of stuff, it's fine and dandy, but it has cascading effects that leads to places that you don't want them to lead. In other words, you see, when you're a rapper, right, and you're famous, you usually think that you got to bring your boys with you, and that's true. I agree with you. The problem is this: you can't indiscriminately pick anybody, and also, you got to be careful how much you shine lights, and you got to know who are the jealous kind of friends. What friends of yours are prone to jealousy? What friends of yours are narcissists? You just can't bring everyone with you. You see, but the problem is that I know how I think I know how he feels. Is that he comes from the hood, and so his loyalty is big. And sometimes loyalty supersedes little things you've done to me in the past. It supersedes little like offhand comments that could show that you are envious of me. Because you've been with me, so I gotta take you with me because you're still here. You see what I'm saying? Like loyalty doesn't lead to rational decision making. So when you're someone who acts by just being loyal, nothing wrong with being loyal. The point is that when you are surrounded by people who are jealous of you, and they know your every move, you think you could trust them. You know what I'm saying? But deep down, they'll smile at you, but deep down, they want to be in your place. And the reason, for the most part, why they're jealous of you is usually your fault. It's your fault why your friends are jealous of you. You show off too much. You don't show some humility. You're too how can I say this? You're too you have too much flair. And that what you have to understand is that that's because the reason why you're doing this is because you're acting emotionally. You're finally in the position you wanted to be. It's like when you're lucid dreaming, you notice you're dreaming, and because you're getting so excited, you wake up from the dream. In the same way is that you've achieved your success. You're so excited to show to everyone else all the great things you did, but you're creating enemies because in reality, you're showing them what they haven't done yet. And you're making them feel inferior. And because you're showing off only the good aspects, because that's just human nature, you're making them think that you're better than them. And people don't like that. And that causes people to resent you. You see what I'm saying? And the problem is that he created that kind of problem, right? And so he surrounded himself with people who are his friends, who were his friends. And why? Because he felt the hostility to the point he had to fire them. But the problem is that he broke another law of human nature, which is what Robert Greene says: always say less than necessary. He let all his friends know everything about him. Never let people know everything about you. There are some things that should not be known. Loyal, just because you're loyal to someone, just because someone's your husband, doesn't mean she needs to know how many dicks you suck. Keep that shit to yourself. Nobody needs to know everything. Nobody wants to know everything, right? Because the wrong information under the wrong hands can really destroy your life. And so he made that mistake. He was emotional. I don't know what kind of family he had when he was a child, but when you surround yourself with people who are bad for you, what that tells me is that you never had no one in your life. You don't know what a bad person is. You don't know the difference because you never know what a good person is. You're so desperate to be surrounded by people that you just indiscriminately accept anyone who comes to you. you know? And so he did that, right? And then you got the bravado. Again, look, nothing wrong with all of that. But when you combine so many fundamental mistakes, it leads to where he is right now. You see, because you could get off with having bad friends around you, right? And people being envious, but it doesn't mean you're gonna go to jail, right? But when this motherfucker is not just fucking up, but actually committing crimes and being provocative. When you provoke people, it's fun what he's doing because he gets views. He actually has a few good songs. So he provokes people and people talk about him and all that sort of stuff. The problem is that he's taunting people. You know, he's taunting people pretty much to kill them for just to get attention. But the problem is that gets the wrong attention. You know, that gets the wrong attention. There's a point that you just have to drop that. And people were telling him that. Fat Joe even told him, even warned him. But every time Fat Joe told him something, he would say, but, you know, this. You know, he caused him to himself. I mean, he caused this problem. And to the point where he's paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in security. You know, now he doesn't need that shit no more. He's in jail. He got security guards right there, right? But all of this was avoidable. All of this was avoidable. You see, what gets in the way of you achieving your goal, the next obstacle, again, isn't your lack of skill sets. It's your social intelligence, the kind of relationships you have. People who see your work and who are, if they don't like you, they'll just automatically say no. But when you know how to soothe people, how to grease their hands a little bit, how to think about their self-interest first and have their self-interest in mind when creating your plan to success, you will have a smoother path and things will be much easier. I'm not going to say there's not going to be a problem, but there's going to be unnecessary friction. You are going to clean your hands, do what you got to do. You tried your best to avoid jealousy. You dimmed your light down. You acted humble. You talked about your problems. You opened up. You showed them that you're not as great as people think you say you are, so that you can make them feel good about themselves. And heck, you even praise them. And if they still feel jealous, then you know what? You clean your hands. You deal with those consequences. You learn how to deal with that. But you did what you had to do. But when you're the one who's provoking this, the thing is that, man, like the thing is that he's a young person. He's 22. He has a momentum of oh yeah, he's a pedophile too. Oh yeah, that's see even I do it, right? Even I forget he's a pedophile. Yeah, he's a pedophile. Holy shit, right? I actually feel bad. Nah, he's a pedophile. It is what it is, right? It shows you how people. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, he is. I gotta look into that. I heard about that. I heard there was like a video of him. But you know, it's like it's you create your own problems, man. You know, you create your own problems, and a lot of these things could have been avoided. And for me, if you guys have friends, for example, if you're a pretty girl or good-looking guy, yo, like don't be so goddamn hot. Sometimes talk about your insecurities. It's important for the us. It's important for us. No, it's important for us unattractive. No, it's important for us who are not as attractive as you guys are to know that you guys are goddamn humans. You know, but it's like that's why I like watching. Like when I learn about an artist like Leonardo da Vinci, I like looking at their old works. And I like finding their mistakes so I can know, oh shit, this dude was a goddamn human. He fucked up, you know? So it's important for people to feel that you have your own problems so that they can relate to you. If you don't do that, then you're leaving the grounds fertile for a fire, fertile for conflict and jealousy. But you got to put some water. That water is your humility. There's no fires can't happen when there's water in the ground. Shit needs to be fucking dry. You got to keep watering that. Their memory, because then what happens is that you say, oh, you know, I have my own problems. You make them feel good, you know, a little sympathy for you. That shit dries up. Next time you show you how awesome you are, you show your talent. You got to balance that show of talent with some humbleness then, because people have a recency effect. They'll remember that awesome thing, and then it's fucked up, right? It's fucked up, but people are that goddamn brittle, man. People are brittle. It happens to me with there are certain subjects that I get jealous about. There are certain subjects that you get jealous about. Same shit. We all get jealous, and we all gotta learn how to control that, and also in ourselves, which is first, right? But also you gotta learn how to control it in others. Next thing is learning how to identify people who are jealous of you, right? People who are jealous of you, usually when you tell them your success, they usually say, oh, they usually congratulate you, but in their faces they won't show it, right? Or they'll congratulate you, but their hand, they'll be stiff. They're like, hey, it's good. There'll be like some stiffness. They'll be like, it's nice. There's not gonna be a congruency. Like, hey, look at that. Like, there's no congruency. You see what I'm saying? Another thing is like you'll notice that if you say something good about yourself, when before you look at the corner of your eye, you'll see them almost frowning at the fact that something's good happened to you. And right when you turn around, they'll smile at you. They'll switch that frown upside down like in a goddamn millisecond, right? Another thing will be there are just many. Go read the book The Laws of Human Nature with Robert Greene. It'll show you signs of jealousy and all that sort of stuff, man. Yeah, and look, you gotta dim your light, man. You know, people, I'm reading the comments, says don't dim your light. You have to dim your light. Not because you don't have to be shining all the goddamn time. And especially around some people, you know, if you're around somebody and you want something out of them, right? And you know they're insecure, why are you fucking showing off to them? Why are you showing off to them? If you want them to do a good job, or if you want them to do a business deal with you, right? Or if you want them to like you, dim your goddamn light. If you know they lack some, for example, if you get pussy and your friend don't, dim your light a little bit. Don't goddamn show off all the time and shit. You know, I have friends of mine who are always showing off about all the girls they get, and I'm like, you know, like if I was someone else, I'll be jealous. And I imagine you made other people jealous by doing that shit. You doing that shit to a dude who hasn't gotten laid in 3 years and saying, "Oh, look at that chick I got." Of course, he's gonna fucking hate on you secretly, you know. And all you women also who are attractive and stuff like that, and saying, "Oh, how ugly I look," when in reality you're attractive. That kind of stuff. Okay, actually, no, it's not. It's not. Actually, it's not the same. It's not the same. Different shit. Anyways, man, you guys have a great day. We shouldn't be responsible for others' jealousy. Yes, no, you should try to see where you could have possibly provoked that. You know, how did you in any way add on to the jealousy? I'm not saying that you provoked it. I'm saying, how did you maybe add on to the jealousy? What could you have done possibly to improve it? Possibly, you know, because you might be, oh, you know, I would never do that. How about maybe? Let's assume that maybe you did it. No. But let's just try to assume. No, but let's just try to assume. Motherfuckers only when you want to try to assume. If you try to assume, you'll find shit you did. Trust me. Again, I'm not saying that when people are jealous, the biggest thing you got to do is remove yourself from them. You know what I'm saying? Remove yourself from them. But if you got to work with them, or if they're your boss and you have a jealous boss, and you rely on him kind of liking you so that you can get your paycheck, then I would dim your light right there. You don't want to make him jealous so he doesn't fire you. That's called never outshine the master. The first law by the 48 laws of power. Never outshine the master. It's pretty much doing the same thing. You're learning how to not provoke jealousy in people, and learning how to not provoke jealousy in the right people and stuff like that. It's all about not making people feel insecure. You know, people don't want to feel insecure around you. If you make them feel insecure, you know, you make them feel bad. All right, people. Hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy your goddamn liberty. You know, there's some people out there who go into jail, man. You imagine that shit? Ooh, man, like facing life. Holy shit. Get the fuck out of here, man. I mean, that's that, you know, like freedom is the most important thing. Fat Joe said this. Fat Joe said, freedom is the most important thing, and that's what they want to take. You know, he said time is the most important thing you have. And that's why they punish you by taking time away from you. They punish you by taking time away from you. But then I thought to myself, I was like, well, that's true. Since time is the most important thing, and the way they win is by taking your time away from you, then if you learn how to use your time, even in jail, to grow, then that means you're undefeated. You will never lose. Somebody sends you to jail, you learn how to write. You learn how to read. You make sure you don't get raped, first of all, right? You learn how to write, you learn how to draw, you work out, you become strong, you become wiser. You come out with fucking novels because you had a lot of time in your hand, right? In fact, maybe that was a blessing. In other words, the way you never lose is always learning how to use time and learning from it. If you had a negative experience, try to fucking find as many lessons from that experience as possible. You know, you could squeeze out. There's unlimited juice in every experience. You just gotta squeeze it out, and that's how you win, by learning how to use everything that life brings at you, so that you don't see it as a waste of time. Because then that's when you feel like you lost. You know, if a girl wastes my time, I'm learning from that shit. I'm teaching that. I'm learning a lesson from that shit and teaching it. Because there is no fucking way you're gonna break my heart and I'm not gonna get paid for it. I'm gonna get paid. If you break my heart, I'm getting paid for that shit. I'm gonna see what you did. I'm gonna teach it, pack it, and sell it. You just did me a favor. Thank God, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, find a way to never lose. You know, for example, since my shoulders hurt, I'm not playing basketball that much. I'm drawing a lot then as a result of it, right? So you might say, oh, you're wasting your time. You're not playing basketball. Hey, guess what, bitch? I'm actually learning how to draw. Take that, right? I can't stand people when they gloat about stuff that's not even relevant to my life. I walk away. All right, I think you're the narcissist. But that's true though, right? That's why even me with my channel, I don't gloat that much. Even with friends, like if they don't ask, I don't tell. Maybe on an offhanded comment, maybe. But it's like it's like having a regular job, like. But when you think what you do is special and that makes you special as a result of it, then of course you're always gonna try to tell people about that one special thing you have, and you're gonna try to bring it up as much as possible so that they remember how awesome you are, so you can feed off of that, so you can feel better about yourself, bitch. Shit, I'm kidding with you guys. But yeah, man, but honestly, man, you gotta learn how to be your own goddamn source of good emotion. You cannot depend on people to make you feel happy. You gotta be your own source of good emotions, and that means that you cannot be sucking energy away. Sucking energy is anything that's like for example, fighting and creating conflict. You're sucking energy. You're making people give you energy, attention, so that you can feel good about yourself. Sucking energy could be playing the victim, so that people can feel sympathy for you, and you can suck up that energy and you can feel good about yourself because people are paying attention to you, right? But that kind of energy doesn't lead to anything good or anything substantial, right? Another way of sucking energy could be like I call them emotional blowjob. Now, of course, no, you're not. Could be like creating art or even creating a video simply to get attention, simply to get people to notice you. Like you make a video simply to get views, simply to earn money, not out of an expression, but to get something, to feel good. Because of that, you taint whatever you do, and the experience isn't as optimal as it could have been if it in reality came inspired and you did it because it just came out of you and you couldn't control it. It's completely different, right? That quality of expression and art or content that you create from expressing yourself rather than doing it for a reaction is more impacting because it comes from something real, something true, something substantial. It comes from within you because you felt inspired. So your whole time when you were creating this subject or creating this art or creating this business, you weren't looking outside to see who was liking it. You were literally looking inside and bringing it out. It's like you're literally transcribing an emotion and a pre-verbal inspiration and putting it into the world through either your chisel, through your brush, through your fingers, through your words. But you're talking about something that's real. The material that's coming from that inspiration comes from something real because you were in touch with it, you see. And so it was almost like a force you can't control, and all you got to do is express yourself in whichever medium you have, art, talking, right? And however good you are at that medium, how much, depending on how much mastery you have of that medium, is how good how well that thing you felt is going to be expressed. For example, people, if you don't speak English well and you try to translate what somebody said into Spanish, that translation is not going to be optimal. You won't understand it. You see what I'm saying? If you're partly blind and you're trying to sketch something because you're partly blind, you won't really sketch what's there, right? So with your skill, depending on how skilled you are, is how easily you're going to be able to translate that emotion into a physical reality. Make sense? You see what I'm saying? So that's why you got to get good at drawing or basketball, so that when you do it, you could fully express how you feel. You could express this image you had in your head, and it could really look like that. You know why this image maybe came from an emotion, and that emotion created an image. Maybe when you're playing basketball, you want to dominate and you want to score 10 shots in a row. You could do it if you master the fundamentals. So you could manifest that if you mastered the fundamentals. Make sense? All right, people. I'm out, man. This is enough. Well, what's going on, Kitty? I'm reading the comments and I'm going to bounce after this. Watch, I like making the cats jump. Watch. Is it? Oh, he usually jumps. All right, man, I'm out, man. Be safe.